The story of Ghost of Yotei opens 16 years after a horrific tragedy. Our protagonist Atsu returns to her homeland of Ezo, a land now controlled by her sworn enemies. Her mission is laid bare in her opening words.
Before she died, my mother told me stories of Onryo, ruthless spirits who wander the land, seeking vengeance. The night my family was massacred, I became such a spirit.
In flashbacks, we see the defining moment of Atsu's life. As a young girl, she lives happily with her swordsmith father, her mother, and her brother, Jubei. One day, while foraging for mushrooms in the woods, she and Jubei encounter a charismatic samurai who helps them find more mushrooms than they ever could alone. In her innocence, she leads this man back to her home. The man reveals his true identity, Lord Saito, her father's former lord. He accuses her father of deserting his clan and declares he must make an example. He and his gang, the Yotei Six, then slaughter Atsu's family as she watches. In the chaos, she is dragged to her family's sacred ginkgo tree, where she is brutally pinned to the trunk with her own father's sword. The Oni, one of Saito's men, then sets the tree on fire, leaving her to burn alive. In an incredible act of will, she pulls herself free before the flames can consume her and escapes. 16 years later, she returns as a hardened mercenary with a list of 6 names on her sash: the snake, the Oni, the Kitsune, the spider, the dragon, and Lord Saito. Her hunt begins with the snake. She tracks him to a tavern, cuts through his men, and confronts him. As they fight, he recognizes her, wielding the very same blade that was used to pin her to the tree. She kills him. The first name is crossed off, and the legend of the Onryo, the vengeful ghost, is born. Realizing her journey will be perilous, Atsu seeks out legendary masters to prepare. Her first stop is Mount Yote, to the home of Hanbei, a reclusive dual katana master who was a friend of her father's. Hanbei, living with the guilt of having watched her home burn and doing nothing, tests her resolve by having her strike down hot coals he throws at her with a training sword. Impressed by her spirit, he agrees to train her, eventually entrusting her with her father's final masterwork blade. Her travels also lead her to Master Yoshida, an Odachi master with a personal vendetta against Saito's sons. Skeptical, he challenges her to simply lift the massive Odachi blade. She not only lifts it, but proves her skill by defeating his best students, earning his respect and a place in his dojo. During these early days, she also helps the people of Ezo. She recovers her stable master's lost horses, and in return, he gifts her a new war horse she names Shimaki, meaning fierce winds. The stable master reveals he was funded by her father, Master Kango, reinforcing that even after 16 years, her family's legacy endures. With this snake's name crossed off her list, Atsu's quest for vengeance takes her to the treacherous, frozen north of Tessio Ridge. She is hunting her next target, a mysterious figure known as the Kitsune, the leader of a deadly shinobi clan called the Nine Tails. Rumors paint him as a fox demon who makes people disappear. Her journey leads her to the Red Crane Inn, the only place of civilization in this desolate region. Inside, she crosses paths with a group of arrogant Matsume samurai and their commander, Fuja. After they harass a musician, Atsu intervenes and a brawl breaks out. Atsu easily bests the commander in a fist fight, but he furiously orders his men to execute her. Just then, the musician, Oyuki, steps in. She doesn't draw a weapon. Instead, she calmly points out how embarrassing it would be for their lord to learn that his commander was bested by a single wanderer and a woman at that. She then threatens to immortalize his humiliation in song, noting that nothing travels faster than a good song. Faced with public disgrace, the commander backs down and retreats. Oyuki reveals she also wants to stop the Kitsune and his nine tails, who have been terrorizing the local settlers. Seeing a common enemy, they form an alliance. Their investigation begins by leaving an offering at a shrine to lure out a nine-tail. The trap works. They follow him, discovering the clan communications using a series of symbols left on the landscape. After a chase, the shinobi, facing capture, takes his own life rather than talk. Searching the body, Oyuki finds a map and a cipher that can translate the Nine Tails' secret language. Using a secret passage in the inn to spy on Commander Fuja, they learn the Matsume may have an informant named Chosuke. Atsu and Oyuki track him to a steak house. In a risky gambit, Atsu disguises herself as a waitress while Oyuki performs. Atsu identifies the gambling addicted Chosuke and slips a non-lethal parasite into his drink. Later, as he suffers from the effects, they offer him the antidote in exchange for information. He tells them the Nine Tails' hideout is preparing out of a local dye house. They discover a massive underground cavern where the Nine Tails are holding prisoners. Atsu also finds a strange puzzle box, which Oyuki expertly opens. Inside is the Kitsune's secret, a recipe for a powerful hallucinogenic poison. This discovery leads them to the Kitsune's main poison harvesting facility. Atsu fights her way to the man in the Kitsune mask, and in their duel, he poisons her. The toxin forces Atsu to relieve her mother's execution. As she is about to be killed, Oyuki appears and administers an antidote. This act of salvation leads to the story's biggest twist. Ayuki confesses everything. She is the original Kitsune. She was a member of the Yotei Six, but defied Lord Saito to save Atsu's life during the massacre 16 years ago. As punishment for disobedience, Saito brutally branded her with Atsu's father's smithing tools and forced her to train her own replacement, a cruel man named Dojun. Reeling from this revelation, Atsu challenges Oyuki to a duel to settle the score. Still feeling the poison's effects, she once again faces the ghost of her mother, but manages to fight through the trauma. In a moment of clarity, she stops herself from delivering the final blow and decides not to kill Oyuki. With this complicated forgiveness, they form a true alliance. They hunt down Dojun, the usurper Kitsune, at his hidden base. Together, they corner and kill him, finally liberating Tessio from his terror. Now, with the Kitsune's conspiracy dismantled, Atsu and her new ally Oyuki part ways temporarily. Atsu's quest takes her to Ishikari Plain, the domain of the next name on her list, a brutal general known as the Oni. To enter the region, she has to get past a checkpoint controlled by Clan Matsume, the ruling samurai of the north. Just as she is being questioned, the checkpoint is attacked by the Oni's raiders. Atsu joins the defense, her skill with a blade impressing the lead samurai. He asks for her help in tracking down a missing patrol, and she agrees. They find the patrol massacred. As they rest by a campfire that night, the samurai questions her about her sword. The conversation takes a shocking turn. The samurai is none other than Jubei, Atsu's brother, who she believed had died 16 years ago. He explains that he survived the massacre and was found and raised by Clan Matsume, eventually becoming a respected samurai lord with a new name, Kitamori. Their reunion is emotional but strained. Jubei is a man of duty, bound by the samurai code and his loyalty to his clan. He is horrified to find his sister has become the Onryo, a vengeful ghost living outside the law. Despite their conflicting worlds, they share a common goal, justice for their family. They agree to hunt the Oni together. They decide an assassination plot. Atsu plans to use Jubei as a prisoner to gain an audience with the Oni. She infiltrates Ishikari Castle and presents her bounty, but the Oni, a hulking man named Kaga, recognizes her as the swordsmith's daughter. It was a trap. They are forced to fight their way out, barely escaping with their lives. The failure creates a deep rift between them. Jubei is appalled that Atsu was willing to sacrifice his captured clansmen for her revenge. Atsu accuses him of caring more about playing samurai than avenging their parents. Feeling they are now strangers, Jubei leaves her. However, after a devastating attack by the Oni on a bridge his men were building, Jubei is nearly killed. Atsu saves him, and in the aftermath, they finally reconcile. Jubei, seeing the depth of her trauma, agrees to help her kill the Oni her way. With information from a rogue raider named Mad Goro, they find a secret entrance to the castle through an abandoned mine. Inside, they find and free the captured Matsume samurai. Jubei leads the freed soldiers to create a diversion, giving Atsu the opening she needs. She confronts the Oni alone in his throne room. He taunts her, calling himself a war hero and dismissing her as the same scared little girl he left to burn 16 years ago. But she is no longer that girl anymore. In a brutal and fiery duel, Atsu overpowers him. Atsu cuts him down, finally getting justice for her father. With the Oni defeated, although Atsu and Jubei are finally reunited, but their fragile peace is immediately tested when Atsu introduces Jubei to her new ally, Oyuki, the former Kitsune. Jubei is enraged, unable to accept a member of the Yutei Six, the group that murdered their parents, into their home. Oyuki earns a tense truce by providing critical intelligence. Lord Saito and his sons, known as the Dragon and the Spider, are gathering forces to launch a full scale assault on the Oshima coast, the heart of Clan Matsume's territory. They ride to the coast only to find the invasion has already begun. It's a massacre, with the Dragon and Spider's forces using firearms to gun down innocent civilians. During a desperate attempt to get through a gate, Jubei reveals a secret. He has a family he needs to protect on the other side. After fighting their way through, Atsu is introduced to her niece, Kiku, for the first time. She is shocked and hurt that Jubei hid his daughter's existence from her. Now, with a new family member to protect, the stakes are higher than ever. Their first major counterattack is against the dragon, who has captured a strategic lighthouse. Jubei and his samurai lead a frontal assault, while Atsu sneaks in for the assassination. In a chaotic battle, Atsu finds a way to the dragon, but he manages to escape on his warship at the last possible moment. Their next target is the spider. Oyuki learns he has taken over a noble estate and turned it into a depraved den of vice. Kiku, eager to help, shows them a secret path inside. Atsu is horrified to discover the centerpiece of the spider's party, a grotesque play reenacting her family's murder, titled The Night of the Burning Tree. Consumed by a cold fury, Atsu dons a broken mask from the stage and massacres Spider's men and captures him alive.
The Night of the Burning Tree deserves a new ending.
With the spider as bait, they devise a plan, stage his public execution on a beach to lure the dragon and Saito's army into a massive ambush. The trap is set. Saito's ships appear on the horizon. But just as the ambush is about to be strung, they realize it's a trap. The ships are a diversion. The real attack is happening at the now undefended Matsume castle. They race back, but it's too late. The castle is overrun. In the chaos of the battle, Atsu finds herself in a duel with the dragon. While Spider, who is now loose from his binds, shoots from behind. She wins the duel and kills Dragon. Nearby, Spider, witnessing his brother's death, flees in terror. But her victory is costly. By the time Atsu reaches her family, it's too late. Lord Saito captures both Jubei and Oyuki. Atsu is forced to flee with a devastated Kiku as the castle falls. Atsu takes Kiku to the only safe place she knows, the ruins of their old home. Kiku, heartbroken over her father's capture, lashes out at Atsu, telling her that she brings death wherever she goes, as she is an Onryo. Kiku's words strike Atsu harder than any blade, forcing her to confront the true cost of her all consuming quest for vengeance. At her lowest point, with her allies captured and her family broken, Atsu must now make a choice: continue down the path of the Onryo or fight for something more. This sets the stage for the final act of our story. Reeling from her niece's accusation that she only brought death, Atsu seeks guidance from her first mentor, Hanbei. He tells her that revenge is Saito's weakness, but it doesn't have to be hers. He helps her deduce that the last of Saito's son, the spider, would likely be at his family's burial ground to mourn his fallen brother. Atsu confronts the grieving spider and the duel. She defeats him, but as he lies helpless, she remembers Kiku's words. In a defining moment, she makes a new choice. Instead of killing him, she offers him mercy. In return for his life, the disgraced and abandoned spider agrees to lead her to Saito's hidden mountain fortress, where Jubei and Oyuki are being held prisoner. After ensuring Kiku is safe, Atsu meets the spider and they travel to the fortress. Inside, Saito is interrogating his prisoners. Atsu infiltrates the heavily guarded base, fights her way to the cells, and frees Jubei. Together, they battle to the fortress to rescue Oyuki, just as she is about to be tortured. As they escape, Oyuki reveals Saito's final, cruel trap. He isn't at the fortress, he's waiting for Atsu where it all began, their old family homestead, with Kiku. They race back to find Saito holding Kiku hostage by the ancient, scarred ginkgo tree. Wanting a final duel with the ghost who destroyed his clan, he lets Jubei, Oyuki, and a terrified Kiku go. The final duel is brutal. Saito taunts Satsu, claiming they are the same creatures unable to resist the call of revenge.
I found something new to live for.
Just as Saito gains the upper hand, Jubei returns to help her, and then they both fight together. Saito mocks their loyalty, calling it a weakness he will exploit. In a final desperate struggle, Saito fatally wounds Jubei, enrages her, but then she soon calms down and is able to defeat Lord Saito. She pins him to the tree and then kills him, finally ending his reign of terror. The last name on Atsu's sash is finally gone, but the cost is immense. Jubei soon dies right after, but before he is gone, she promises him she will take care of Kiku. Sometime later, we see Atsu living with Kiku and Oyuki at the homestead. The land is healing, and so are they. People still leave offerings for the Onryo, hoping she will hunt down the remnants of the Saito's clan. But Atsu's hunt is over. Her final conversation with Kiku reveals her new path.
Do you want me to keep fighting?
Not if it means being left alone.
In the end, Atsu finds the peace that revenge could never give her. The final scene shows her, Kiku, and Oyuki visiting Jubei's grave, planting his favorite flowers. Atsu plays her mother's shamisen, remembering the lesson that music can speak to those they have lost. Feeling their family's presence on the wind, the ghost has finally found her home. And that is the complete story of Ghost of Yotei. Tell me in the comments below what did you all think of the story, and subscribe for more game summaries, game news, and other game stuff that is about to come soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.